Everyone, I would like to invite you to the Table of Grace.
At the table of grace, the cup's never empty, the plate's always full, and it's never too late to come and be filled with love never ending. You're always welcome to the table of grace.
Hi everyone, welcome to Table of Grace. I'm Melissa Hilton. It's a show with Greater Guadalupe and Belizean to the Bone where we speak to people who has a very strong faith and whose feet are planted in the Lord. Today's guest, we have Mrs. Zetina, who is the director of Our Lady of Guadalupe Mercy Center. So stay tuned, join us right back after the break where we'll speak to Mrs. Zetina and hear a lot about what that center offers.
At the table of grace, the cup's never empty, the plate's always full, and it's never too late.
The Table of Grace.
At the table of grace, the cup's never empty, the plate's always full, and it's never too late.
Welcome back to Table of Grace. Join us today when we speak to Mrs. Zetina. Mrs. Zetina, how are you?
I'm good, Melissa. I'm happy to be here with you, joining you at Table of Grace.
Thanks. Mrs. Zetina, I know you are involved in a lot of things, but today we're talking about the Guadalupe Center. What is the center main focuses? What do they offer?
Well, the Guadalupe Mercy Center is a ministry of the Sisters of Mercy. It is located on the second floor of the St. Catherine Convent. And the center has been there since 1981, so it's as old as Belize's independence. And the center has evolved over the years in terms of what it offers. I personally have been there for the last 5 years. Oh, wow. And so I can tell you about what has been happening in the last 5 years more passionately, I would say, than what happened before. But we are a center that provides several things. We are a place that is quiet, conducive to prayer. We also offer retreats annually, as well as outreach programs and other programs, focusing on a theme that we choose every year. So we are a very small staff. We have Sister Sarita, who is our spiritual director, Celia Usher, who is our program coordinator, and then we have other support staff. And we meet every year in June to plan what would be the offerings for the year, because our year goes from August to June. Okay. And then we take a break in July. So we're very lucky.
It's your vacation.
Yes, this is my vacation month, starting today actually.
Oh, wow.
And so we're very, I would say, a very quiet place that, unless by word of mouth, people don't know that we exist. And so we're very happy to be on this program today to share what we do. Because I believe that the types of programs that we offer at the center are not what necessarily people are interested in. You know, I think as Belizeans, we don't focus a lot on developing our spirituality and enhancing and enriching our relationship with our God, besides going to church and engage in other parish activities. And so we, although we promote our programs through our parishes, and we have a newsletter, we have a brochure that we put out, it is always having to go back and call people and share what we're offering. But we do have quite a number of people who actually take advantage of the programs that we offer. Like for this year, I believe we've had almost 2,000 people for the year who benefited from the programs that we offer. And so we do women, couples, young adults, because we do offer retreats for the girls at St. Catherine Academy, and we also offer for the Muffles College in Orange Walk.
Ms. Zetina, before we get into those retreats, because all of them are interesting to me, I would like to learn a lot more. But this is a question that I keep asking a lot of people. We need to start at a very young age in teaching our children about God, our religion, how to build their faith with Him. Do you offer retreats or for young children? Because I know, for example, at Holy Redeemer, well, different Catholic schools, they take them on retreats when they're going to before confirmation, and then that's about it. But for some reason, having passed that stage, I would think that you would need to do either a follow-up on that or something else. Because when you do it that year, and then you just lose track of it, unless you go to SCA or you go to Palote.
Where they actually
where they actually offer them.
We started this year offering short programs for kids.
Okay.
And what we offered this year to the children of Cindy and Vianney was caring for the earth, and how the earth, we are but one strand in this earth, right, and in the whole universe. And so we brought them into the center, and we shared with them, and we engaged them in taking care of our environment, of ourselves, of themselves, and so on. So we started that. We didn't do with children. We don't do an all-day program. We do like a half day.
Okay.
Because it's during their school time. But we've started, and I'm hoping that this year we would continue. And indeed, I want to agree with you, because I was privileged this year to offer one of those confirmation retreats, because Sister Leona normally does those retreats for the primary schools for confirmation, and she was ill. And so she asked me to do it, and I was like, oh my goodness, I haven't done a retreat for confirmation. And she said, don't worry, you'll do fine. And so I know that the schools do, and this one was for Belize Elementary and Hummingbird. The Catholic children attending those schools were doing their retreat for confirmation. So I know, and indeed, I think that is something we need to advocate for, that more of those are offered to children, and we would be very glad to do that, because we do offer it for the young adults, but we're just starting now to reach out to the schools.
I think it's something that would be an asset starting from a younger age, other than waiting until you're in that young adult, that stage to get it.
Yes, and I guess they teach spirituality, I guess they call it now, instead of religion in the schools.
They do teach it in the schools, yes.
And so maybe it's just a little more, or a little different perspective. But what's interesting though, Melissa, is that we don't do the children of our primary schools, but we do retreats for the staff of the primary schools. Yes, so for example, Holy Redeemer is one of the group that comes to us every year in August for a retreat. And it's amazing and so encouraging to read there are evaluations, because whatever we offer at the center, we evaluate. We get the participants' input because we want to hear and learn, and how do we do it differently. And it's amazing the impact that the retreat has on them, and hearing, you know, oh, I feel so prepared now to go back to my classroom. I'm going to treat my children differently. You know, God has really been touching me in a very special way during this retreat. So those are the comments and the evaluations that keep us going at the center, recognizing that while we have to do a lot of work to get people to come, when they come, it's so rewarding for them. And so it's beautiful to be a part of that.
I will be one of them that will be praying for a retreat for the younger ones, because you tend to miss out on a lot if you wait until later on to get into it.
And you know that as I said, my experience with children was with the children from St. John Vianney this year, and then the children for the confirmation, and they are so much involved and, you know, very happy. Like the ones for the confirmation was done at Trinidad Farm. And oh, those kids had so much fun. They didn't want to leave. They didn't want to leave. They were so happy. And so it is true that, you know, having them in a different environment would help to get them.
What all retreats do you do?
Well, it depends. The retreats are different every year. As I said earlier, we select a theme. So, for example, the theme for last year was Called and Sent, Sustained by Love. And so all the programs that we offered were centered around the theme.
That theme.
So last year we had several retreats. We had one that Look Within was the title of the retreat. That was a one-day retreat for women. We then had a silent retreat. That is offered every year just before Lent, just before Easter or Holy Week, during Lent. And that is one where you stay at the center for the weekend. It's a weekend retreat. And it's a silent retreat because you're not allowed to talk to the other participants. Everything is done in silence. You gather for prayer, you meet with your spiritual director, but it's normally very quiet. You can't be interacting with the other participants until it's finished.
Until the weekend is over.
Until the weekend is over, until the retreat is finished. And that one was titled The Cup of Life. So it depends. Then we've had a retreat for married couples. That retreat is titled The Art of Marriage. And I must say here at this time that our staff is very small, so you must be wondering how they do all of that.
Retreats.
No. We have a core group of volunteers that help us to offer the different retreats. We do some, but for example, the marriage retreats, we have a team headed by Mrs. Maureen and Stanley Ermoff. They are the ones who head that. We also have Loretta and Vince Palacio. They are members of the married couples team, and Flavia and Dave Burgos from Orange Walk. Sometimes Pauline Rodriguez and her husband, but the core are those three couples, and they are the ones who would then offer the retreats for married couples. The married couples also have what we call marriage enrichment nights. And so every Friday, the last Friday of the month, they gather at our center and engage in activities, watch a movie, different activities that would enhance their marriage.
How do they get to go to those retreats?
They're invited, like the ones who come to the retreat, then they can come to the marriage enrichment. We send out an email, an invitation. We put it on the bulletin sometimes, As I said, our brochure mentions the marriage enrichment dates for the whole year. So we have, I am hoping that through Table of Grace now more people will hear and people will want to come. Yes, because it's very fun-filled, and they love it, you know, they love it, and they come to the center, they do their own thing. We just prepare the place for them and they come and do. So,
Ms. Zetina, I need to hear more about all those retreats that you that you offer there. We need to take a very short break and then we'll be right back. If you're like me, you will definitely come back to Table of Grace to hear that there's so much more retreats that the center offers, and who knows, maybe before the ending of this year you'll be at one. Join us back in a little while.
At the table of grace, the cup's never empty, the plate's always full, and it's never too late.
The Table of Grace.
At the table of grace, the cup's never empty, the plate's always full, and it's never too late.
Welcome back to Table of Grace with Melissa Hilton and Zetina. Ms. Zetina, I don't think I want to end this conversation.
well, I'm so glad that you're enjoying hearing
retreats.
about what we offer.
Hear about more retreats.
Yes,
We've heard about
the art of marriage.
marriage enrichment.
And last year, we decided to add 2 new, well, I wouldn't say retreats, but programs, which we found to be very successful, and people are asking for it again. So last year we said, you know, let's do something new. We're always trying to find new ways to get people to come to the programs that we offer. And so we offered an evening session that we entitled Spirituality, but T-E-A at the end.
That you drink.
Yes. So we had tea served. You know, we had tables with teapots and teacups, and so
Crackers
we had tea.
Too? Crackers too?
Yes, we had snacks that people can enjoy, but we did a piece for reflection. So we had chosen 2 songs, and was a video because the song had images, and so people ate their food, but also had the time to look at those and had a time for reflection. Oh, people want us to do it every month. Well, I don't know if because it's the food or the reflection piece, but so we know that it was something that people like. So
probably made them feel like they're at home on the couch watching the TV and just snacking on some Doritos.
And then also because you know, we had different people of all ages. We had young and older persons coming, and so there was sharing at the table, because they also had to share on their reflection based on what they had seen on the song and the images. So this year definitely that has to be on our agenda, and maybe this year we will do it twice. Not every month, but we'll do it twice.
For the year.
So it was a very nice evening. And then we also thought, let's do something with mothers and daughters. So we offered another evening. Most of our retreats are on Saturdays, and because most of the people who come to the retreats work. And so these we said, let's try evenings and see what happens. So we offered the mother-daughter for May, around, you know, Mother's Day. It was, I think, was like the 15th of May. We did this. Oh, I mean, that was so beautiful. Really, really. We had daughters from ages 11 to 21 with their mothers. And so they had opportunity as mothers reflect. We had a letter. We always start with prayer, and then for reflection, we had a letter that was written by a daughter to her mother. And so some of the things that teenagers go through with their mothers, you know, so we included in the letter. And then they had time to reflect on the letter, mothers alone and daughters alone. And then they came together to share what they had discussed. And then they had time to spend together as mother-daughter. And they even had a little massage session where they massage each other's hands. Oh, wow. Yes. So those were 2 new programs that we offered last year that people want. And they don't only want now mother-daughter, they want mother-son.
I was just going to request that one.
And father-son.
Oh,
so
okay.
We're looking forward to offer those this year. Because as I said, we're there to serve. And so if they say, these are some of the things we want, then we'll do it. We'll do it. Our theme this year, I don't know if we were anticipating the Pope's encyclical that just came out, but our theme for this year speaks to us living in this planet, which is God's household. You know, the cosmos in general. And so that's going to be the theme for us, our year. And our theme starts very, very similar to Table of Grace. Our theme says, a graced moment, called to live as planetary and cosmic citizens within the household of God, which is the cosmos.
How do you come up with the theme for the year? Who comes up with that?
Well, as I said earlier, we have our staff that comes together, and we brainstorm. We bring ideas. The sisters who are members of our staff and also part of our ministry circle, because they're divided into circles, and so they have a circle that is responsible for the ministries that they have. So some of them will also join us in the planning. And so everybody brings.
And put one to everything
and
together.
We sit there and we say, okay, well, this sounds better, this one, no, this one, that. So we work it, and then by the end of the day, we have a theme.
Do you plan for the entire year? Like, and you said your year starts August to June. July is your break. Do you plan for that entire year in advance? We plan for the entire year in advance. We set dates when certain things will be offered, and we already know when the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius will begin. We already know when the women's retreat will be. But in August, we then prepare a brochure that then lists a little snippet of what the retreat will be, with the dates, how much it will cost, where it will be held, all of that. So every year at the end of August, we send out that brochure. I now have your email, so you'll surely get yes, I will definitely be at the
get that brochure. Yes. And so we send out. We do the brochure. So indeed, when we sit down in June and plan, we have our calendar well filled up.
Do you leave space for any ideas to go in?
Yes, we do. We do leave space. There are some times that we are called to, like for example, last year, we were called to facilitate a retreat in Dangriga for the associates of the Sisters of the Holy Family. So we made space to go and do that for them. So yes, we do leave space.
In there. For your past, for the 5 years that you've been there, what has been the highlight of your year for those years for you so far?
I think the highlight has been my own personal growth. Because I have been the director for 5 years, but I mean, it's been, you know, my work before was with the government. This is totally different in terms of it's the facilitating and all of that is not new, but the content, the concepts, you know, it's like every morning at 9 we gather for prayer. So it's enriched my spiritual life. I would say, being selfish, that has been the highlight of my time at the center. But no, I think that the mere fact that we've been able to offer new programs is a good thing. We survive on grants. So that is one of my major roles at the center. I have to be writing grants to be able to sustain the work of the center, because our costs are very small. You know, like we charge $50 for a day retreat, and we offer snacks and lunch. So you know that,
wow, that's
yes,
a good deal.
That's very low, because we know that people will not pay more. Even though people will pay more for other things, they won't pay for their own spiritual enrichment. And so we consider that. One of the things that, as a means of earning an income, what I began to do, and I guess because people know me from the work that I did before, I started reaching out to the organizations that I used to work with, and we rent our conference facility. And I think you've been there, where the CHIRP retreats are held. Yeah. So that place has been a blessing in terms of income, because we are now almost every week, at least 2-3 times for the week, that place is being used.
Wow.
It's not closed anymore like when I first went there. So I think that's also
wow, that's
a highlight for
opened.
Yes, it's being used. That sometimes now we even have to rent the second floor,
really?
That big community room, because sometimes it clashes in terms of people wanting to use the place. And so I think that is also something good. You know, it brings some income for the center to keep its programs going.
I did one of the retreats, the CHIRP. I did the women's, and that was an amazing experience. I actually did it twice. I did it twice, and what I learned from it, I think it's something that I will carry with me forever. But it is just a task, I would say, in getting women there, especially younger women. It is very, to get them involved. How do you do it? How do you get them to be? Because I know they give invitations. Because like my first time, I got invited by my sister.
Mm-hmm.
But my second time, I did it on my own. I called her and I'm like, I need to go. But I think why I called was because there was something that had stirred up in me that I needed more of it. So that was why I had called. Mm-hmm. But how do you initially get women to go to retreats?
But I will say that the CHIRP is more from the parishes. They only use our center as a venue for it. But what has been amazing, and I think you're speaking to that, is that a lot of the women who participate in the CHIRP retreats are yearning for more, and so they come to the retreats that we offer. So for example, the mother-daughter evening, the spirituality, the St. Ignatius retreat, are women who have attended CHIRP retreats. So the CHIRP is a way of really stirring up and wanting, opening you up to more. You said you did it twice. I think I did it about 5 times. Because I helped at least for 2 years with CHIRP. But it is amazing what CHIRP does for women and some men, because they also have the CHIRP for men. That they want more, you know, and so we're there to provide that more in many instances. And so that also helps in terms of getting more participants for our programs.
Zetina, I know that these retreats are for Catholic women to get back into your faith and to grow in your faith. But what if a non-Catholic were to come and say, Miss, I saw your show and you talked about these retreats so well. How can I come? Would they be
Of course they can come. We actually have facilitated retreats for women from the Anglican church, because they come and they ask to use our space, as well as for Sister Sarita to facilitate their retreats. Yes, we are very open to that. And even when we offer our retreats, we pray, and yes, people know that we're Catholic, but we don't impose if you're not, on theirs. And everybody likes it, and they don't feel like, oh, I can't come because I'm not Catholic at all. We're very open to that, because I think in the break I was telling you that a lot of times we don't realize that spirituality is about our way of life. It is how we treat people, how we care for others, how we love, because that's what Jesus came to teach us, to teach us how to love each other, how to embrace differences and each other and all of that. So we don't, they are very welcome to come.
We'll hear more about that. We're going to take a very short break, and when we come back with Table of Grace, we're going to hear more about the retreats, how you can contact the center, and a lot more. Stay tuned to Table of Grace. We'll be right back.
At the table of grace, the cup's never empty, the plate's always full, and it's never too late.
The Table of Grace.
At the table of grace, the cup's never empty, the plate's always full, and it's never too late.
Welcome back to Table of Grace with Miss Zetina, where we're talking about retreats offered at Guadalupe Center. Miss Zetina, the year will start next month.
September, actually.
September. I know there is a lot of retreats that you offer, like you mentioned. Maybe you can run through it for us, and if the center has any needs. Because I know it's a non-profit.
Yes, it is. Yes, indeed. As I mentioned earlier, we have our theme, and some of the programs that we'll offer this year will redo spirituality. We're going to offer the mother-daughter. We're also going to consider offering the mother-son and the father-son. I'm sure that we will have retreats for married couples, women's retreats. We had tried retreats for single mothers, and we had a couple of them, but last year it was difficult to identify single mothers to come to the retreat. Maybe we didn't do enough looking.
Publicity.
Yes, maybe. But if there's the possibility out there for us to offer it again, we will. Presently, what we did is we're working with mothers of the children who attend the YMCA on Fabers Road.
Okay.
So we work with the mothers. We've had at least 12 of them steady that come every other Tuesday. And we work with them in terms of strengthening their faith, strengthening their relationship with God as a means of improving their lives. And so I'm sure that not all of them there are Catholics, but they keep coming. They tell you that when they're there, their spirits are lifted, that they have now been able to treat and be raising their children differently. I think the YMCA is seeing the results. So we will continue that program. So women in the area of Fabers Road that have their children attending the YMCA are welcome to join the program. I'm sure that Sister Sarita is going to offer the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius, and we didn't speak a lot about that, but that is a retreat that was written by St. Ignatius. When he went on a pilgrimage, he had an experience, And he wrote that experience, and then that experience is now shared as a retreat.
Okay.
And for us in Belize, the retreat itself is a 4 weeks retreat. But this one is called the 19 annotated spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius in everyday life. And it takes 9 months because the 4 weeks is taken 9 months because then it's integrated into your everyday life. So people who are able to take 4 weeks and do the retreat completely, but people who have to continue living their daily lives, working and so on, that is why it takes 9 months for the period. But it goes through 4 weeks. It looks at sin, it looks at how God loves you, looks at Jesus' passion and resurrection.
Okay.
But it was written by St. Ignatius because of the experience that he had. So that definitely is offered every year, as long as we have persons who want to do the retreat. Sister also always offers a women's retreat, and she also always offers the retreat around Lent, the directed silent retreat.
And all these retreats are done here at the center?
They are done at the center.
Okay.
Now, the high school retreats that we offer are done at Trinidad Farm.
Okay.
The girls. And then, so we have Muffles College, we have St. Catherine Academy, and this year, St. Ignatius High School in San Ignacio, or Santa Elena, rather, has called us, so we will be doing with their faculty and their students, their fourth form students especially. And that is where we need volunteers, because I think I had mentioned earlier that we don't have a big staff and that we have volunteers. And so we've had a group of women who have helped us with the retreats for the high schools, but they've been doing it for umpteen years, and they're saying, you know, it's time for us to take a break. Let's get some new people. So we're looking right now for volunteers to help us with the retreats for the high schools.
So anybody can call in and say, oh, I can volunteer.
Yes, anybody can call in, but we would need to go through with them what is expected and so on, and because then we want to make sure that they're committed and they really want to help in the process. Donations, financial donations are also welcome by the center. As I said earlier, we survive on grants because the income that we get from the programs is very limited.
Okay.
We've been blessed. Every year we continue to receive donations, not locally sometimes. We would like to get more from our locals. But we know that God wants us to do the work, and so He opens the doors. Every year we say, okay, can we continue to be open next year? And bam, there it is. Something happens, and we say, okay, God wants us to keep this going. And so He's been there seeing us through all our challenges, financial and otherwise. Yes. And so that, if people would like to call us, they can reach us at 223-2275. That is our telephone number. We have an email address, very long, director@mercycenterbelize.org. But we're closed for July. We open on the 3rd of August. And during the month of August is when we do all the preparations of our brochure and setting in place, buying our supplies and doing all of that so that we're ready in September to begin our programs and our retreats. So we're very blessed, as I said, that we're able to offer. I think the evaluations, the comments from people gives us the impetus to really continue and do our best to make sure that, you know, people find a place where they can grow in their faith. And I forgot to mention that we also have a retreat we say a retreat center. We have 8 rooms that if you at any time want to just be quiet with yourself and so on, we rent rooms. That has, we don't have as many people that use that facility. We use it when we offer the weekend retreat. People need to stay there. And there's some people that come from the States who are looking for a quiet place to just be by themselves and so on, and they stay with us. But it's not in great numbers, but it is available. It's a service that we also have available. So if you want to run away from your 2 kids on a weekend and you want to be at a quiet place,
Don't tempt me.
The Guadalupe Center is there. That's a service that we offer as well.
And they have the use of a chapel, or?
Yes. We have a small chapel within the center, but right beside us, if you went to St. Catherine's, you will know the chapel, the big chapel. Yes. One of the things that we do every year, Melissa, is celebrating Our Lady of Guadalupe. So every year on the eve of the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, we also have a celebration at the big chapel in honor of her, because we are named after her. So we also do that. Last year was very, we had lots of fun, and you know, we have volunteers who do all decorate the altar for Our Lady. Miss Linda, who works here. No, she doesn't work. She volunteers here at Divine Mercy. She has been that committed individual who comes every year to do that decoration for Our Lady. And last year we even had piñata.
Wow.
Yes, we had piñata. Children and adults bursting piñata in celebration of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
You have children and children at heart.
Yes, yes, including our bishop.
When you guys are finished with the brochure, how can people get them? How can you get people out there get in touch to know?
Well, they can call us. We always email our brochure. We send it to all our parishes. We normally advertise on the community billboard. We send it here to Radio Guadalupe as well. And but people can call us and we'll email it to them. We have a long list of emails that we send to, so the more people call us, we're very happy to send it out to them, because we do printed copies, but we also email. So those people who want to save our trees, we email. Yes, we go green.
Anita, I'm happy that you came. I learned a lot about retreats, more retreats being offered, and you can put my name down for that mother and son one.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll surely do that.
For that one. Guys, thank you so much for watching Table of Grace with us this week. Mrs. Zetina had opened our eyes to a lot of different retreats being offered. Speaking personally, from attending one, you will grow, you will learn a lot. It's an amazing experience, and it's something you will want to do at least once a year. Take the time out for yourself. Like I always say, there's no greater joy than to being in love with yourself, with your family, and with your God. He's the one that takes care of us. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, give thanks for your life, your family, your friends, and your country. And with that said, I'm Melissa Hilton. Thank you for watching Table of Grace. See you next time.
At the table of grace, the cup's never empty, the plate's always full, and it's never too late to come and be filled with love never